Good morning, everyone. So this is Dr. Santosh Pandey. So when I decided to present something on this platform, this topic in my mind, hosting a rota in emergency department. I guess this is the base of running ER very smoothly. Emergency medicine floor is hard, intense, decision dense, and sometimes you have to work in some inadequate environment too. Important question to most of our senior clinical fellows is to how to recruit and retain staff to work in ER for department, work in ER for long. Because having deranged work-life balance leads to job distraction and ultimately burnout. So for this, we have different approaches for rostering to improve flexible working and smooth working in EM. Most of the EDs are still not able to train doctors for line. Have a look on this organized structure. If a single brick also gets dislodged, the entire structure is destroyed. That's why we say emergency medicine scheduling is one of the most complex of all physician scheduling if we compare to the other departments. Basically, its scheduling depends on the most of the factors. It depends on the like what kind of patient we receive, what kind of care they need, what our staff needs, what does the entire organization want from us to work, how they want, how much to what extent they want us to work, what are the workforce and skill required to deliver services, and after all the workforce availability that is required to work smoothly in here, that is the doctors available for working on the floor. So there are lots of factors which make our scheduling, that is ED scheduling, a bit complex. We'll discuss one by one. First, that emergency department is open 24/7. Like none of the department works so heavily, so continuously. Like if you compare to ICU also, so ICU also works 24/7. But once the ICU is filled, they like declare that we can't receive patients. The same story doesn't happen to emergency department. If our ER is full, we can't receive the patient. That's the difference between emergency and ICU. That's why we say emergency department works 24/7. And the use of local tenant physician. Most of the local doctors that who comes for our shift are usually not well trained. They're not well equipped or familiar with our local protocols which we follow. They usually try to finish the duty hours, finish the hours, and then move out. Most of the time, the demand of the doctors which is raised for our management is never most of the time not complete. That again makes our scheduling a bit complex in terms of cost effectiveness, increase awareness of shift work. Many doctors don't like to work in shift like our ER runs, like that to working continuously, that with bare minimum works, bare minimum relaxment or breaks in between. These are the factors which make our scheduling a bit complex. So we'll have discuss on the principles of rostering. Principle of rostering is to fix right people with right skills at right place and the right time. Rostering is considered as a crucial element to ensure an environment that provides high quality and safe patient care, as well as ensuring staff health, where well-being is monitored through increased visibility of safe working hours. If you go back to literature, to date there has been very little in the way of documenting rostering guidelines, training or education for the staff with rostering responsibilities. As per Royal College of Emergency Medicine UK, there are 5 basic ideas for rostering ED. Utmost important is annualization of the roasting, annulation of the roster. Annulation is a concept particularly which is suited for the EM working flow. There is clear-cut calculation of the department needs. As per RCM guidelines, they say the doctors have to work in about 42 hours, 42 weeks per annum. Or usually they take 4 weeks leave, including with 2 weeks study leave. So working 42 weeks per year. Direct shop floor clinical care is annualized and used to organize the clinical rota. And once the hours are clearly defined, then everyone can take control of how they have to work and how they have to plan, how the working has to plan. This annulation, if it is compiled with self-roasting, then the results are a bit best. Now, what is self-roasting? So self-roasting is one of the second idea for AD roading. Like, try to involve your doctors, try to involve your colleague in the roster making. They can plan this, they can self-roster themselves, they can plan their leaves, they can plan their annual leave, they can plan their medical leave, sick leave, study leave if they want. Even they can plan their preference of the shift also, because ultimately if they are happy, they'll work long for our year. Then third idea is define critical shift times. I hope everyone remembers your days old busy days life, working 12 hours, 8 to 8 morning, 8 to 8 evening, continuous shift. Actually, that time was required to get into emergency medicine, to understand what was emergency medicine. At some places, we have shift like 6 hours, and 12 hours, means 6 hours morning, 6 hours evening, and then 12 hours night. We'll discuss about the other rotas also later on, the other schedules of the later on in the next upcoming slides. And third idea is clear and non-clinical split. Usually, each and every doctor is working on the floor. They are predefined areas that everyone knows in which area they have to work, which one has to work in the red zone area, research area, who has to work in the yellow zone, green zone. Everyone is predefined before the shift. Last one, fairness and consistency of all group of clinicians are well maintained. These were the few basic ideas of rostering ED as per RCM guidelines. Now have a look on this duty roster group. So there are three shifts: morning 8 to 4, evening 4 to 11 o'clock, and the night shift is 11 o'clock to the morning 8 o'clock. So see, each and every doctors are predetermined, like they know which area they have to work. Everything is preset before the shift. There is no confusion between the working style. See this roster. So again, we have three shifts. This is the morning. This is the evening. Morning is from near about 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Evening is from near about 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock to 10 to 11 o'clock. And then the night from 11 o'clock to the morning 8 o'clock. Now, what is the difference? Difference is this overlap. So this is overlapping of the staff work shift to cope up with the daily demand fluctuation. Because most of the time, if you compare our daily routine activity, the ER is mostly busy in this afternoon time and the evening time, which is near about 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. This is the busiest time where we need maximum manpower. So there we should have ample of doctors so that they get relaxed, they get time to relax, they get time to break very often, and they don't get burnout. One of the problem is rota is that they have to give handover at the multiple levels, and then the night doctors, usually doctors is working in the night a bit less, but this is okay because many times you compare the patient load in the night is pretty less than the patient load in the afternoon. So doctors load in the evening, if they are in night, if they're less, then that is acceptable. And moreover, the important point is most of the time we don't have our consultant coverage in the night. That again makes a difference. So comparatively, this overlapping rota is a bit better than the non-overlapping rota. Now the pandemic effect on the rotas. So 11 March 2020 was, I guess, the date when WHO declared world as pandemic COVID-19 disease. COVID-19 outbreak posed unique challenges to rostering and manpower management in ED. This was the time when no one was ready to work in ED because everyone was scared of the direct risk of exposure, direct contracting illness. They were scared of their family members of contracting illness, taking illness from the hospital to the home. So no one wanted to work in ED. It was like an open environment for everyone. So this was the time when we planned fixed team based strategy, which was focusing on various concerns of limiting transmission, maintaining service standards, and preventing burnouts. Actually, this pandemic roster was required to eliminate unnecessary staff crosswork. It was to be implemented early until the mode of transmission, infectivity of the disease, and the level of PP requirement was well established. It ensures adequate staffing, minimizes staff exposure, provides psychological benefit, and adequate downtime to relax and often to feel motivated. Now, this was the now usual non-outbreak emergency department roster, which we have discussed previously also, three shift, morning, evening, and the night, and all the doctors were preset and predetermined which area they have to work without any confusion. Then it came outbreak response roster shift rotation. Now, this was the fixed team-based strategy. The entire team of doctors which we have in our department, they were divided into near about 4 to 5 teams of doctors. And all teams are working separately without any submerge in between. They used to do the morning shift 12 o'clock and the night shift 12 o'clock, fixed 12 hour shift duty. They used to meet only at a specific point of time, like that is handover time. And that too, handover was given via telecommunication mode only. Rapid fast handover and then walk out. The benefit of this was they got ample of time to relax. You can see day, off, night, and then post night off, then again off, then day. So they got like they usually prevents burnout among them, and they were ready to work during this COVID pandemic time. Now, thing is that to maintain this fixed base strategy, we need to have ample of doctors. Numbers should be pretty more. Actually, this varies from place to place. Scenarios can be different. Some places are well developed ED department. Some places are not very well developed with the emergency medicine institution, like my place. Usually, I work in a trust hospital, which is very busy kind of, and I have kind of not more than 10 doctors, just 10 doctors, 9 medical officers, including, and this is I am the 10th one. So how I plan this fixed base strategy, I divided the entire 9 doctors in three teams, team A, team B, team 3, with everyone with 3 teams, and they used to work with 12 hour shift, 8 hours, 8 hours, and I used to be in the common morning 9 to 5 hours. Now, basically, if they're working these three teams in this through two shift, actually they will be working more hours. Duty hours will be a bit more. So, what a plan, like if they do the more duty hours, they are paid more as per the locum guidelines. So, basically, this is again it adds on to their longer sustainability. They're happy to work. So, this is a kind of local protocol which we can follow. It varies from places to place. Practical consideration considering this our pandemic roster is team size and expertise level should be equivalent. Member of the team do not work at other hospital or clinic, because if they start working other outside their working zone area, then everything goes in the vein, because they can contract illness from there, and then this segregation team based strategy doesn't work if they contract illness from outside. Now this is important. Next active team, one for the morning and one for the night shift, is placed on call. If any one of the member of the team is unwell with COVID symptoms, the whole team is replaced by on-call team. Organization should have appropriate governance structure to oversee the rota, to look for roster planning, approval, and monitoring. Now, drawbacks of pandemic roster. We talk about drawbacks. If about this fixed team-based strategy, there was kind of overstaffing and underutilization of the staff during night time, because now the team was fixed. The same team was working for morning 12-hour shift, and same team was working for the evening 12 night 12-hour shift. And I told the night duties are like kind of patient load is bit comparative less than the morning shift, and but the manpower is same. So that lands up in overstaffing and underutilization in during night times. And slight understaffing during the daytime, because daytimes the usually the evening time, the evening and the afternoon time is busy, but the number of the people working are the same. And third one was about topic was the quality of handover was bit deteriorated initially. See, usually though they were giving handover telecommunicating only, initially if you talk about our non-outbreak days, we used to give handover in the morning, like most of the sick case, red zone case we used to discuss, and then we plan and then move out. But during this pandemic time, we plan all the cases which are only on the floor, we'll discuss that and then we'll move out. So handover was bit kind of deteriorated. If you go to if I went back to one of the journal of EMED, which also showed that the ED waiting time was bit prolonged if you compared with the outbreak and the non-outbreak time. Actually, this was the time which we lagged in between of doning and dosing or the communication or the handover time which we have spent. That added on the our ED waiting time. This was again a drawback for our pandemic roster. All these revised roster are never designed to be permanent. It should be adapted and replaced, guided by the hospital control over the healthcare associated infections. Now coming to EM future. The future of our specialty depends on the recruitment and the retention of the staff. If we are able to retain our staff long, then only we can plan things like the overall development of the department, things doing like academics and all. So for this, rotas are key. Good rota is the only thing that will help us to retain doctors for long. If we get this, then the department can start to thrive, eliminate locum spend, and improve patient care. See, making good rota is one of the thing for the entire EM development, entire our ER development, department development. But there are lots and lots of other things to be done for overall development. So I request each and every residents who are passing EM recently to take in chargeship, to take this ownership, go and start working in any place in India, whether it is small time or large. Small town or large town doesn't matter. Take this ownership, start working. If you are able to do this, all this thing collaboratively, then one day you will be able to do this drastic change, which I did at my place, changing the word from casualty to mismatch in Japan. That really makes a difference. Thank you. Though it was a small topic, but yeah, important topic to be discussed. Thank you guys. So you guys have any doubts, I'm ready to take. Thank you.